Good afternoon. It is September 17th, 2021. It is Friday, and today we just had this downtrend, and we formed this range, and this was a two-tiered range, and I have never seen a range be as consistent as it was right here. So that's what we had. Maybe let me put the overnight highs and lows, and I think that went well beyond the measured move. So, well, we hit the measured move down here, and that's when we find some support. And that turns out to be, let me delete that. That turns out to be an important level of support. But then I drew this range, and that made a measured move pretty perfect to the tick. So, like this whole week, the price action has been so crystal clear, and it's been giving us a lot of setup. So I'm hoping the next couple months are going to be like that. But I'm not very experienced, so I don't know how all this works. But anyway, let's take a look at these trades. I'm seeing that I missed some, so I will pause the video and put some on here if I missed any. Actually, don't think I missed anything. We'll see. But 5 o'clock comes in right here, so we make this pretty large move up, and we made this big move down. Let's see, we get a pullback right here. Yeah, that's a failed second entry short. I looked at this as like a double bottom here, and you make this first entry failed second entry right here, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. It looks. If you took that, I'm not opposed to that, really. It's aggressive though. Then we get this first failed second entry short right here, but that's just let's see. I think you would have scalped out if you entered on the engulfing bar, but it's congestive, very congestive. 62.50. Yeah, so look at that. You would have scalped out to the tick right there. I got fooled here. I saw the second entry, and if my thinking was, okay, it's a failure, go on the engulfing bar, then I'd be a little more okay with this. But I was just looking at the second entry, and I said, you know, this is congestive, but I want to take this. Look at that bounce off the EMA, but way too congestive to be thinking like that. But yeah, I did go a tick above that bar. I just don't think that that was what I was thinking. But, you know, I don't think you want to go long there. Too congestive. By that point, you would have a potential, you know what? You actually could have your trend line drawn by that point, because this looks like a perfect midline right here. So anyway, we make two legs down, 1, 2, and then looks like 1, 2 legs of correction. Unfortunately, we don't get a good signal bar to go short here. Get some congestion right here, which is at the overnight lows. We make 1 leg up. We bounce off this level of resistance. So I don't think you can go short there, because it's just the first entry. Then we get this lower high, but that's just a poor signal bar. And it's not a failed second entry long, so it's not. We can't go short there, unfortunately. But it is a lower high, not a good signal bar. First entry, failed second entry here. See, the thing is, you know, this is a midline right here, and so this looks like it's the bottom of the trend channel after the fact. But I might be thinking like we're looking to go to these lows of this channel. So that's very aggressive. Look how far it is from the EMA, but that is a failed second entry long. Okay, why did I look at this first, second entry? I don't know why I put this box. Oh, because it's not, we didn't make a new high here. Unfortunately, we didn't make a new high, but that's a second entry short. With this breaking beneath the overnight lows, 50, We're about 7 points beneath the overnight lows. If you're looking at this as a very strong downtrend, which you might be, you might go short there anyway and just treat it like a first entry, like you're going short on a first entry. You get this lower high here. So maybe you would enter there, but that's going into the lows, so you shouldn't do that. First entry, failed second entry long right here. I like that entry, and then you get this lower high. Boom. And at this point, we're just making it's a really strong downtrend. Lower highs each time. This is lower than this. This is lower than this. So even though we're going into the lows, I like those entries. Find some support right here. First entry, second entry, and then the lower high right here. Just looks a little congested though, but now it looks like we made 2 legs up, so I do like that. We don't make it to the top of the trend line, but we start to form this channel down. First entry, failed second entry long. That confirms that channel. Then we find support down here. First entry, second entry short. Let's see, what would I be looking at this as? I guess I'm just looking at this as like a hidden failure, like a first entry comes down, second entry maybe. This is the true failure right here, failed second entry long. And then we get a first second entry short. It's getting aggressive at this point because this is clearly congestion, but it's the bias is also clearly down, but we're going into the lows. But yeah, look at all these entries. And look, okay, here you have room to the lows to scalp out. Here you have room, here you have room, here you have room. Here you do not have room to the lows to scalp out. Okay? So, and look what they did there. They trapped everyone who was late to the party and took a lower high far from the EMA, and boom, it rockets up. You get 1 leg up, 2 legs up. They trap people going short right here. What can we say about this? How to stay out of that? Well, it's inside bars. They're inside bars. What else? And at this point is when I drew these range highs and just put it down to these lows. Other than this being congestive, I'm not too sure how you can stay out of that, guys. That's a tough one. But yeah, it's congestion, and this is a really strong leg up. So that's another reason you might not take it. But we get that overshoot of these highs, and that leads to a with trend break. But then we get a pullback, and that is okay, I guess this is just a lower high. It's just the first entry, but look how bearish that is. So I was just looking at that. First entry, second entry, they're chopping people up here. I would just say, like, look, there's clear price rejection. I'm saying I would say to stay out of this, there's clear price rejection. When it comes down here, you get this big bullish bar. And these are all inside bars of this. These are 3 bars stacked up. This one's a doji, so you might look at this as micro congestion, and that's what it turned out to be. So I would just stay out. And especially right here, look, we get confirmation of that midline. And that shows us that this is definitely a range. And you could have thought of that probably about here. That's what I did, is I matched I drew the lows, dragged the highs up, and when this became the midline, that's where I left it. So that was a good read. I was happy with that. Midline, it bounces, another with trend breakout, but it bounces back. We get that quick uptrend, probably just trapping a bunch of longs. The past 2 days we've formed ranges at the bottom of large legs down, and those ranges resulted in strong moves up. So I bet you anything there were traders looking at this as that. First entry, failed second entry. If you went long here, it would have worked, but I mean, I'm not going long at this point. I need more evidence that we're going higher. This is a new low, This is just a first entry. So you don't really get any good setups to go long anyway. But look at that midline. Confirms that midline. And when it comes down here, you got the trend drawn. I am, however, looking for a failed second entry. And look, perfect setup. First entry, failed second entry long. Fantastic setup. Unfortunately, you only get a scalp out of that. But look at that leg down after that. And maybe you can argue for some entries in here. These lower highs, but you know, this is a double top, maybe. Kind of looks like a double top, maybe. First entry, failed second entry. I don't know. We got to overshoot. It leads to a break. That is a first, second entry short right there. So this kind of looks like a double bottom, so maybe you would be a little nervous. But that with that strong leg down, I'm looking for that. And look, we hit this measured move, go like 1 or 2 ticks further, get a pullback, first entry, second entry short. I mark that as aggressive because this looks like one leg up. So that's aggressive. First entry, failed second entry long, boom. These entries are fantastic. All these entries. I've never seen a range be as consistent as this. Get a first entry, second entry with a looks like a double test of that high. Let me make that bigger. I didn't see that in real time, that it was the double test of that high. So I just saw it was a second entry short. I'm taking that. Then it turns into a small uptrend, probably just trapping some longs. You might even go short here, but I just don't like that because we bounced off the EMA. Here you bounce again, so I don't think you can go short here. It's just a first entry. It kind of looks like a second entry short though. So maybe you did go short here, especially that's an extremely bearish bar. So you might think about that. I looked at this as maybe like a first, failed second entry long, but no signal bar, and it's really just a lower high off the level of resistance. But then we come here, first entry, second entry short, extremely, look at that price rejection. Like the price action has just been fantastic the past few days. First entry, failed second entry long, aggressive because it's not at the highs, but it works out. You get a scalp. First entry, second entry. Those, it might not look like it from here, but those are matching highs. So that is a valid entry, and that's a second entry short. And look at that, you get a nice move down. I think you would have gotten a runner here. Yeah, looks like it. A very nice runner. Let's see. 25 to probably, so like a nice almost 5-point runner. And then here we get first entry, second entry short. It's aggressive because we broke out of these lows, but there's room to the lows to scalp out, and that worked out. So really, really clear price action this week. I'm hoping that we continue to get that. Strong trends. So let's take a look at the trades I took. I wish I just stayed out of the market at the beginning. I mean, I did well today, but I got lucky a couple of times. So let's take a look. This is a good entry. I woke up at like 2 a.m. just took a look at the chart, and you get a first, failed second entry long. So that works out. Good entry. Here, like I said, I'm glad I entered on a limit order, but this is congestive. First entry, second entry. And look, we haven't made a new high. It's just not the greatest idea to go long into these swing highs. So I don't like that entry. It worked out though. All right. Here, I entered on a limit order here. What was I looking at this as? Oh, this is actually its second entry short. So let's see. This really looks like one leg of correction. Yeah, this really looks like one leg of correction because you see, look here. That's where the rejection came in. But this technically is a first, second entry, but that's only, yeah, it's just very small. It looks like one leg of correction. So maybe that's what should have kept me out there. But I entered on a limit order. Let's see if I didn't enter on a limit order. 54.25. Yeah, you would have gotten stopped out. So, yeah, look at those legs. This only looks like one leg of correction. But it is a second entry. I entered on a limit order. That's the only reason I got out. So, yeah, you got to be careful of that. But I entered on a limit order. Let's see. Okay, first entry, second entry. Then I entered on this lower high. I really like that. I wish I entered on the second entry first, but yeah, lower high. Also, this looked like one leg, two legs. So I do like this entry, and yeah, it's good enough for a scalp. Whoops. Let's R. All right, one more entry here. Going short. First entry failed. Second entry, so I entered probably, it looks like, on a limit order. Oh yeah, okay, so I was watching this in real time and I wanted to take this, but I didn't have the guts because it's going into the lows. But then I see this bar and I was like, you know what, this is a failure. I think it'll hit those lows again. So I entered a little late. I wish I didn't enter late, but I think that was correct. This is a failure, so, and we do make another leg down, so yeah. Let's see. I don't think I entered anymore, but I was calling all these, and they were all working. So yeah, I felt like I was seeing the price action. Only problem, I need to be more patient in the morning, and just know that entries will come. So don't be eager in the morning, because you got time. All right, that's it for today, and I'll be back next week.